Okay, students, af- after knowing the interest inventories, now we are talking about the sociometric techniques in our lecture number 3 of week 8 and the course you are aware guidance and counseling. We will try to understand sociometric techniques, their different types as well as their significance. So let us start our discussion with introduction. Okay, what basically the sociometric technique is. The sociometric techniques are basic approaches for the study of social relationship such as degree of acceptance, roles and interactions within the groups. Human beings are social in nature and they perform a number of activities in the group. Take for example in the classroom, all the people having different temperament, different personality patterns, they interact with each other, participate with each other, and there is a level of acceptance or the rejection among members of the group. They perform number of roles in a group situations. They engage in a cooperation. Sometimes competition is also a part among the group members. Sometimes some members like to some other members and do not like to some other members. This is basically the social structure in which we perform on daily basis, and this social structure is available in our family, in our society and in our the classroom. These sociometric techniques are basic approaches for the study of this social relationship. It is a general technique which attempts to ascertain the dynamic interpersonal relationship among members of the group. What kind of relationship exists between the members of the group? That is very important for learning process and for guidance and counseling processes. On the basis of that, we can categorize them into different categories. We will come later on that aspect. It is valuable in guidance and counseling. I'm talking about the sociometric techniques in identifying students whose peer relationship are hindering or assisting their self-actualization. If our relationship with the members of the group are better, then we will be able to do the task in a more comfortable manner and we will be achieve for getting self-actualization. If the atmosphere or the environment is not conducive or cooperation and coordination among members is not present there, definitely the ultimate objective of education, that is to achieve self-actualization, will be a delayed process. Sociometric devices are the best technique in the hands of the teachers and the counselors to determine the social status, whether there is a cooperation, coordination, competition, assimilation, or what kind of structure is present, group structure and personality traits. Sociometric techniques attempt to describe what type of relationship exists between the students in the classroom, their feelings, cooperation, coordination, repulsion, attraction, liking, disliking towards their classmates become quite evident with the help of the sociometric techniques. So, if anybody is interested in knowing the group dynamics or the type of relationship students enjoy with each other, these sociometric techniques being the simplest one and will be able to provide the input about the type of relationship enjoying the members in any group. There are certain questions which are basically asked. On the basis of that, we evaluate the type of relationship. Take for example, the investigator may ask questions such as, with whom would you like to work on a class project? If the teacher is asking this question, counselor is asking this question and asking the choices from the student, give the name of the few people, one people or two people, with whom would you like to work on a class project? This represent task oriented sociometric devices. Okay, you want to know the type of cooperation and coordination among the members or their acceptance or the rejection on this task oriented approach, because it is a task. It is a task. Class project is a task. It is an academic task which is conducted in a social situation and where more than two individuals are involved in that. So if this question is asked, then the responses of the students will be quite different. They will nominate different types of the people, and after calculation or scoring of the test, we can find out the type of relationship. We will explain with the help of example to you. So such questions as with whom you would like to spend a leisure afternoon represent person-oriented device. So task-oriented device, person-oriented device, situation-oriented device, and so many tasks can be selected and questions can be framed in order to put to the members of the classroom for seeking their responses. Types of sociometric techniques, it will be very difficult to discuss all the sociometric techniques, but we will certainly discuss for your kind attention few of them, most particularly sociogram and sociometric techniques. So we have the sociogram where pictorial presentation is basically presented, and on the basis of seeing that picture, one is able to identify who are the most popular students of the class and who are the cliques and who are the mutual pairs and who are rejectees or the isolates of the class. And same task is basically performed by the sociometric matrices, where a matrices is prepared. Guess who technique is also used, where we ask questions, guess who is basically showing the temperament of a Hitler, or arrogant in one, or always happy, always social. Such kinds of questions can be prepared, and based on that we can draw the kind of relationship between the students and the group dynamic structure. Let us take the examples of the sociogram. Sociogram is a pictorial or graphic method for analyzing the data obtained from sociometric techniques. The purpose of both sociogram and sociometrics is the same, except their presentation in pictorial or tabular form. If pictorial form is there, it is called the sociogram. If tabular form is present, it is called sociometrics matrices. We will discuss later on. Sociogram is a visual representation of the social relationship within a group. Visually, we can identify the type of relationship present among the members of any group or any class. It is created by asking students to nominate their peers based on certain criteria, certain tasks, such as who they like to work with, who they consider their friends, or who they would prefer to sit with. These are the situations, these are the tasks, different types of the tasks, different types of the social situations, and on the basis of different tasks and social situation, we can seek the responses of the student, and their responses can be evaluated and analyzed, and we can decide the type of group dynamics present among members of the group. So this technique is very interesting and very useful. Even the classmates can identify the type of relationship they enjoy with each other by using this simple trick. Teachers can, any juncture can use this sociogram technique. What are the steps of creating a sociogram? Creating a sociogram typically involves the few steps. Number one, the teacher asks each student to make a list of their peers, often based on particular criteria. Take for example, who do you like working with, or who would you prefer to sit with, or with whom you would like to perform a task on any PowerPoint presentation, any assignment, or any project. This is the first step. So these are basically the questions which we prepare in advance. In second step, the teacher collects these responses and compiles them into a list telling how many times each student is nominated. Take for example, if this question is asked to the student with whom you would like to work on a project, and you are asking from the student, give the name of 2 or 3 persons of the classroom. Now, if there are few students in the classroom, then all are giving their responses. In second steps, after collecting the responses, we are compiling them in a list and telling how many times each student is nominated. Okay, who is nominated most by most of the students. In step number 3, the nominations are then plotted on a graph or diagram where each student is represented by a point, and lines or arrows connected students who have nominated each other. This creates a visual map of the friendship and group dynamics. Okay, let us start socio-metric matrices of the 11 members of a small class. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I am giving the name. Okay, these are the 11 students in any class. One here I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Same we are putting from 1 to 11 here. This is 11 number. This choice was given to student and the A nominated to the B and nominated to the E and B nominated to the D and H, and similarly every individual nominated 2 students with whom he or she would like to perform a task. So these are basically the nominations of the students like this. Take for example, this I nominated to J and K, and J nominated to I and K nominated to I or J. These 11 students, we have given the questions, we have taken the responses. Near we are plotting these responses like this, and on the basis of that we are counting the responses. You can say that 5 is the response, or 5 times the B candidate is chosen. It is supposed to be the star of the classroom. Another star is basically is H. 4 students out of 11, 4 students out of 11, 5 students. It means maximum choices are given by the individual to these 2 peoples. So they may be considered as the stars of the classroom. If we look into the 9, 10 and 11, 9, 10 and 11. If we look the pattern, I is nominating to J and K, J and K. J is nominating to I and K is nominating to this part, means I and J. If we look the pattern, this is basically the click. Okay, these are the 3 I, J and K. They are nominating with each other like this. I will also show into the, so they are nominating with each other. This basically gives a idea to the evaluator okay, what type of relationship they enjoy. So sociogram is the same, can be represented in a pictorial form, that is called the sociogram. What is this? Sociogram, think about it. Okay, B is nominated by H. These arrows are basically indicating that B is getting the maximum arrow. It means that B is the most popular, or the star I have mentioned here. This is the star. And these 3 students, I, J and K, they are selecting with each other. They don't want to mix up other people, and they will consider as a clique. Clique is basically a group of 3 or 4 people, and nobody has given the response to the J. That is why it will be considered as the rejectee. And A is not also chosen by any individual. It is also considered as the rejectees. So with these we can identify, as look at to the previous picture also. Here also we have identified the stars. B is the star, H is the star, and I, J and K are the cliques, and others are the mutual pairs. So this is basically the preparation and presentation of the material in a sociogram and sociometric matrices. Hope it will be clear to you. Now, how we are going to interpret a sociogram? Once the sociogram is created, the teacher can analyze it to identify various social patterns within the class, and these patterns may include 4 patterns we can identify: stars who are nominated maximum times, isolates not nominated by any classmates or only one classmate nominated to that, and mutual pair means they are nominating with each other. Take for example, A is nominating to B and B is nominating to A only, and they are leaving or not nominating to others. That is called the mutual pairs. Cliques is basically a group of the people, as I told you, J, I, K. They are the cliques. So these cliques can be performed here. Patterns, stars. The members chosen by majority of the others members of the group, generally termed as stars. These are students who receive a high number of positive nominations. They are typically well linked, well liked and well connected within the class. That is why they are getting the responses. They may be the social, they may possess certain good qualities in their personalities. So now the question arises, why the people are nominating these? They are the stars. And another is the isolate pupil whom no member of the class wants to or likes to be associated with them. These students may have few or no nominations, indicating that they may be socially excluded or struggling to perform connections with others. If someone is in isolation, then he keeps himself away from social mixing. If you keeps away from your social mixing, and there are certain characteristic features which are related to the maladjustment behavior characteristic features, then the pupil reject that kind of candidate in the classrooms. Another is the mutual pair, refers to a pair in which 2 members like each other, but no other person in the group likes them. They are connected with each other, but others are not also nominating them. If 2 students nominate each other, it indicates a mutual friendship, which is a sign of healthy social bond between these 2 individuals. But as far as the whole class is concerned, it cannot be considered as a positive sign, because in any classroom, the tendency should be to mix up with the members of the other groups also. Cliques refers to that structure of group in which 3 or more persons chosen each other. If the group is large, then it can be a group of 5 or 6 also. The sociogram can reveal groups of students who tend to nominate each other, forming distinct subgroups or cliques within the classroom. So on the basis of this sociometric techniques, we can categorize the members into 4 broader categories: stars, cliques, mutual pairs and rejectees or the isolates. Now there are certain advantages of the sociometric techniques. Sociometric techniques offer numerous advantages for both teachers and students, especially when it comes to assessing social behavior and promoting group cohesion. This technique is basically related to the social aspect. More importantly, it gives the idea about the kind of social relationship enjoying with each other in any group. So it is identifying social issues clearly, promoting inclusivity and reducing bullying, enhancing group work and collaboration, and supporting emotional development. Identifying social issues early. Students who are socially isolated or rejected can be identified by using the socio-metric techniques, and it allows the teacher to take proactive steps to address the situation or the problems, and this can include creating opportunities for these students to interact with peers, encouraging inclusion, or offering emotional support. So, if students are isolated or rejected, it is the responsibility of the teacher to provide opportunities so that they can participate with other members. It also beneficial for the counselor because he or she will be able to understand other characteristic features which are leading to this isolated behavior of the students. Promoting inclusivity and reducing bullying. Sociometric assessment can help highlight instances of bullying, exclusion, or social isolation. Teachers can then work to address these issues by fostering a more inclusive environment. Inclusive environment means where everybody's needs and requirements are being addressed as per their abilities and capabilities, where every student feels valued and accepted, and nobody is considered as rejected or isolates in the classroom, and this leads to better overall classroom cohesion and improved student well-being. If students are participating with each other, enjoying social relationship, having a good cooperation with each other, definitely these aspects will solve many indiscipline or behavior problems of the student. That is, promoting inclusivity and reducing bullying is basically the advantage of sociometric technique. Third aspect or advantage is related to enhancing group work and collaboration. By analyzing the sociometric data, teachers can strategically group students for collaborative activities, ensuring that groupings are balanced and that students have the opportunity to work with different peers. This can improve collaboration as students are more likely to work effectively with others they feel comfortable with. Take for example, if teacher finds that there are students who are click in nature, click in their behaviors, then he can make uh, groups of other students and ask the individual to engage with other students and work on that. This breaking of the clique is very important, and enhancing the participation of the isolates by engaging or collaborating with other students who are the stars of the classroom, so that they can get better connections with that and imbibe or learn certain personality traits of the stars, and healthy collaboration and cooperation is maintained in the classroom. So these sociometric techniques are also helpful in that environment, that aspect. Supporting emotional development. Understanding the social dynamics in the classroom can also provide valuable insights in students' emotional development. For example, if a student is consistently rejected or isolated, it could indicate underlying emotional or behavioral changes. If nobody is liking to that, he is in isolation and he is rejected in the classroom, definitely it has an emotional repercussions for that. So teachers can offer targeted support to help the student build confidence and develop social skills and emotional resilience. So these are the tasks which can be performed by the teacher, and these are the tasks which can be performed by the counselor in assisting or giving the guidance and counseling sessions for the student, because emotions are basically leads to stress, anxiety, and frustrations, and this we have to drag the people from this frustration and provide opportunities for better learning. Limitations of the sociometric techniques are also very important to understand, because every test has its positives and the limitations. If we know the limitations, then we will be able to work on them so that we are able to get the reliable data from that test or inventory or techniques. Subjectivity in students' nomination is the one. I will explain it. Privacy concern and emotional impact is another, and the complexity of interpreting data and low reliability. These are the four major limitations which I will discuss before you, and let us take one by one. Subjectivity in students' nomination. Take for example, you are asking with whom you would like to work on a project. You have asked this question from the student and they are nominating according to their wish. Students may nominate. This nomination process can be doubtful. Students may nominate peers based on personal preferences, biases, or limited understanding of their classmates' personalities. They may not be aware about the personality of the student and they are just nominating them. But we are considering that he or she is nominating or considering that an star, or he has a good connection between that. Many times students are not having the knowledge of their classmates. Their true personality is not known to them. So there is a possibility of making errors in nomination. This can result in skewed data, particularly if some students are not fully aware of or sensitive to the needs and feelings of the others. So this is basically the one drawback or one limitation of the socio-metric techniques. The nomination depends upon a number of other aspects rather than actual personality of the students. Privacy concern in emotional impact. In some cases, socio-metric process may inadvertently cause emotional harm, especially if a student is consistently rejected or isolated in the group. The transparency is, so if someone is rejected at many occasions, then it can lead to emotional impact or emotional trauma or emotional instability among the individual, and it also related to their privacy concern. The transparency of sociogram may also create privacy concern as students' social relationships are exposed publicly. These aspects can go outside the classroom and the person will be labeled as isolate, labeled as mutual pair, labeled as clique, or sometimes as stars. The complexity of interpreting data is another important shortcomings of this. A sociogram provides a snapshot of social behavior at a given moment, but relationship can change rapidly, especially in a classroom environment where dynamics evolve regularly. Teachers must take care to view sociometric results as one part of a broader assessment of the student behavior rather than a definitive measures of student social standing. I may not be, I may be rejected. A person can be rejected in first instances of application of sociometric technique, but as soon as the class progresses, as soon as you interact with other members, you become known to each other and your popularity enhances. So considering the student as popular, rejectees, isolates or mutual pair is and thinking that this pattern is a permanent or enduring pattern is a wrong criteria to use it. So it is a serious limitation, and the teachers and the counselors should consider that whatever present situation is there, this dynamics related to this present situation. As soon as the students will be able to understand with each other's personality and having enhanced opportunity of the interaction, this group dynamics is going to change after 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months. Fourth one is low reliability. A sociogram prepared at the beginning of the certain class will be different prepared at the end of the class, as I told you, because chances of learning are there, experiences are there, and modification in the learning process leads to many positive ideas and many positive relationship. And in the beginning, students are not aware of with each other. In later stages, we get connected with each other, and their cooperation looks in their interaction on regular basis. So in respect of isolates and rejectees, it cannot be said that they have no feelings of friendship at all. We are rejecting them considering that they are not having the friendship feelings. It is wrong to expect. They are also the social being. Every individual is a social being, and he or she has to engage cooperatively in the classroom. If someone is not cooperating, it means there is something wrong, and we need to take the cognizance of that and find out the reasons. A number of studies are being conducted by taking the sample of the stars, taking the sample of the cliques, taking the samples of the mutual pairs and the isolates, and many useful informations are being furnished or revealed on the basis of these findings. Applying socio-metric techniques ensure confidentiality and create a safe space. Use socio-metric data as a tool for growth. Incorporate follow-up activities. Ensure confidentiality and create a safe space. We need to ensure that we are keeping the results of socio-metric technique as confidential, and we are only using it for important purposes. A student should feel comfortable participating in socio-metric activities without fear of judgment or embarrassment. Teachers should reassure a student that their responses will remain confidential and that the goal is to foster a more inclusive and supportive classroom environment. Second is, rather than using sociometric data to label or categorize student, teachers should focus on using the information to promote growth and development. For example, if a student is socially isolated, the teacher can work with them to improve social skills and build stronger connections with peers. So these data should be kept confidential, and these sociometric data should be used for enhancing the growth or the social skills of the student. Now, the incorporate follow-up activities, sociometric data should not be a one-time assessment. Teachers should follow up regularly with students to monitor changes in their social relationship and provide ongoing support. Group activities, peer mentoring, and conflict resolution workshops can help address social challenges and improve classroom dynamic. So, with the counseling process to the student, we need to conduct these sociometric techniques on regular basis in order to know okay, what changes students are showing in their social dynamics and inter relationship, cooperation, coordination, love and affection, and other aspects. So let us conclude our lecture. Sociometric techniques offer valuable insights into the social dynamics of a classroom, helping teachers assess relationship, detect issues such as isolation or bullying, and promoting a more inclusive learning environment. And these are supposed to be the best tool in the hands of the teachers and the counselors to perform the task of the counseling. With this, we have completed our lecture. Thanks for your patience listening, and God bless you all.